Hey, welcome back guys to the channel. Today's video is going to be slightly more controversial and it's going to maybe come off as offensive, but I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. I am not actually aiming this at anyone specifically. This is just all my own opinion and personal belief. So this very controversial topic I do want to touch on is the problem in the Toronto music video industry. All right, so the first problem is clients are too afraid to invest into their visuals. Okay, so as a director myself, being so invested into the music video industry, I do understand how hard it is to be an artist and be independent and self-produce everything yourself. So you got studio time, mix and master, pay for royalties, you know, who's on the song, who helped write it, paying to put it out, marketing as well. And then we have the video side of things. We have, of course, you know, paying for props, locations, models, crew or director, videographer, whoever you're hiring to do that. And with more to work with, we can be more flexible, create better concepts. So me personally, I refrain from working with lower budgets strictly because I like to actually create unique visuals, and I do pride myself heavily on being able to create different concepts every time. With that being said, I typically like to shoot at the $2,000 range starting price. I'm going to compare that to a videographer. I work with a crew primarily, so my shoot prices kind of go up. But if I compare it to just run and gun videographers, I know the prices right now roughly are going for $600 to $1,000, maybe like $1,200. So my prices are, you know, slightly higher than that. I am, you know, limiting who I'm working with, but at the same time, I'm going to be getting, you know, the clients I actually want to work with. If you break it up, I'm not pocketing the whole amount. I'm actually paying a camera operator. I am paying, you know, my assistant. I'm paying the first AC, all these different titles on my set. You know, that $2,000 goes like that, and I'm taking home less. I would put my money on that more than 90% of people in Toronto are doing everything themselves. They're doing everything that other people should be doing because the budget is so thin. The second problem is being overworked. Now, we are heavily overworked as creatives in the Toronto area. We are always taking on multiple projects. We have ridiculous requests, you know, revisions. So for example, the way I charge people, I'm able to do less shoots per month, but because I do less shoots per month, I take more time with each shoot. Now I could bust out an edit in like a week, maybe less than a week, depending on like, you know, what I'm doing or if the artist really has that deadline that I need to hit. But usually I like to take anywhere from like a week to 4 weeks. A lot of artists look at me crazy when I tell them 4 weeks. I put it in my contracts now. It's written right there, can't miss it. There's a timeline that I give myself. Even if I only take a week, I'm still putting 4 weeks on that contract just because I know I'm gonna be overworked. The reason why these videos take so long to edit is because, you know, again, we're not just filming yours. We're gonna be filming other people as well. So I'll take on 3-4 projects a month, and then I'll start editing yours. Let's say I start editing for a good 3 hours, 4 hours, get really drained out or bored of editing this one video. Stop that, take a day off, or move to the next video, come back to your video again another 2 or 3 days from now. We're always overworked, and especially because we're doing all these different jobs on set and then coming home, you know, it's very hard to balance that lifestyle. The next major problem in the Toronto music industry is people having big egos and way too much pride. Starting with directors or video creators, they like to gloat a lot about, you know, their past work, what camera equipment they have, and somewhat are just very elitist about the whole industry. Someone who may have a higher end camera may look down upon someone who just has the beginning camera. Then when it comes down to that person who's starting out, they try to come up, buy a new camera. That person who's up here begins trying to push them back down. Now, moving to artists. This is the problem in Toronto that everyone knows about. Problem is that people want a red cinema camera music video, or they want the highest end lighting, they want this, they want that. You're not really paying those prices to be requesting that. Meanwhile, the budget is like barely passing $2,000. One major issue with this is a lot of artists get spoiled with not only the prices that we are giving, they do not want to work with anyone who doesn't have that specific camera. They get this idea in their head that if I don't shoot with a red camera, my visuals are garbage because red's the best, or Blackmagic's the best, or insert camera brand here is the best. It makes zero sense because as the creator myself, I know what's best for your visual. For example, if we're going to be shooting outside at night, the budget's already low, why would we want to shoot with a red? Red cameras are not known for good low light unless you're getting like a red Gemini or like a Monstro. something of the higher end cameras, and if you can afford to get those in your set, well, you probably have higher budget for everything else, so you wouldn't have that problem. I will say that most people in Toronto really only shoot with Sony mirrorless cameras or Blackmagic pocket cameras because they're cheaper, quicker, and more reliable in terms of fast run and gun shoots. So the fourth problem in the Toronto music industry is people setting their prices. Now, this is going to be directly towards directors, but also, of course, again, is in relation to the first problem of clients not investing. A lot of the times in Toronto, people like to undercut each other. They do not want to see their fellow directors get clients. They want it all to themselves. And I get it. This industry is cutthroat. I'm charging $2,000. You should not be trying to swoop into the same client and charge $1,500. Now, this has actually happened to me last year on a very big project. I'm not going to say what it is or who it is, but the contract locked in from time. It was already signed. Everything was good to go. So someone found out and tried to talk to the artist, slide in their DMs, and ask them to shoot with them instead. Another instance for me was when I sent an entire treatment to an artist. I was kind of dumb. I didn't get the deposit before doing any work. I just gave them the treatment. And then I find out while I'm on another shoot that they're out shooting the video that I gave the treatment for. Everything I put in the treatment besides like one extra thing was the exact same. And the person that they went to was someone who was way cheaper than what I was offering. So when you have these high-end cameras, like a red camera, Blackmagic camera, and you're setting your prices at something like $1,000 or less than that, you're only going to be ruining it for everyone else and yourself, because you can never crawl back from that low price. So you have a red camera that's worth like $20,000 altogether. You're charging only $1,500 for a music video shoot. What's that going to do for the guy who has a Blackmagic camera? If we're just looking at only equipment, right? Not skill level and what they can produce, just the cameras alone and equipment, what's going to happen is that person with the Blackmagic cannot go past that $1,500 mark in theory. So if you're going to be setting your prices, set them higher, set them to realistic standards, and that way the market kind of, balances and everyone can charge accordingly to not only their equipment, but their skill level. I know it would mean getting less clients. That issue of like being overworked goes away if you do less videos for more money. You end up finding the clients you actually like to work with. So stop charging low, charge higher. The fifth and last problem I have in the Toronto music video industry is simply the saturation in the market. And a lot of the same styles are being constantly produced and copied from one director to the next. We've all seen it, is the condo music video with, 6 guys, 1 bottle of Henny, a little bit of money on the table that they have to pay their director, and definitely a model that did not get paid enough to really be there. If you check the 6Buzz YouTube channel, you can probably see about 20 of them before you scroll down. I say no to a lot of these type of people just because they don't want to do anything else. Even if I pitch them an amazing idea, they still are stuck on that same idea that everyone else before them has done. The typical line is, yo fam, I got this crazy idea. I'm like, yeah, cool, what is it? Yo, I'm gonna get like 2 girls, 1 bottle, and then we're gonna shoot in the condo. I don't know, I'm not trying to shit talk these people. It's funny because it's like such a prevalent theme or concept to all these videos, and even when we try to push other things, they just deny it because it's not cool, or they're too afraid to actually be creative because it might be seen as lame to do something funny. We have these people who also, in relation to doing those type of videos, also like to replicate someone's style. Now the main style is super grainy, like the entire screen is just full grain, like so much grain that like you can't really see any details. So I could have shot this with a GoPro, I could have shot this with my camcorder. You really can't tell. With that comes the 3D objects. And I know you've all seen the 3D objects. The 3D objects to me are kind of funny sometimes. It could be a grass wheat field. These 3D spinning guns are now floating out of the air in like this weird way for some reason because the artist probably said that looks sick. Actually, I'd like to give a shout out to Orazio and Tiny Tapes for really just like holding it down. I think out of all the people who do that kind of stuff, those 2 guys specifically, I actually like watching. So we are seeing the 3D spinning text at the beginning of the video, and then just like the whole video is super grained up, random flashes and streaks of light and like 3D objects out of nowhere. If it makes sense, it makes sense, but sometimes these just don't make sense. Lightning bolts and hurricanes and like weird things happening in a condo. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Some of the biggest music videos in the States are there's no effects. It's just a simple cut to cut video. It's because of what they're doing on set. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it for the video. I hope this didn't come off as offensive. I didn't want to target anyone specifically, but hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you can take away anything from my video, it's just that, you know, we don't want to have these problems in Toronto. We want to be better. We want to be like LA. We want to be like the States in general. Music video creation here is so limiting and it's very problematic. So let's try our best, artists and directors, to, you know, work together to create better visual. But with all that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you've watched it this far, this was definitely a longer video. At Jacob Ettinger on IG, I am the most up to date on there. Really appreciate you guys again, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.